is secure as well. Using the generate password hash. It's coming from that weird W Wisberg or whatever it is. So generate password hash and check password hash on line 22 for Brandon. And line 42, that comes from that library. Yeah, that's not too bad, huh? You know, more or
And
less.
obviously when we're creating something new, this is what we use, right? The session.add.commit,
Yeah.
when we're creating a new item or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, and then you need, line 39 to 43. The things to the left of the equal sign on 41 and 42 need to match the columns. And then whatever's on the right needs to be like the values that are going into that.
Okay.
So yeah. Perfect. So now we're gonna have a a login page on our front end, a sign up page, and then some kind of conditional rendering so that way we know if someone's logged in or not.
We don't need a logout button.
As well. Yeah. There'll be like a logout button. Yeah, we'll go over that. Okay, so cool. So let's go to the front end, open up the front thing. All right. So let me take a look at this. This will be fun. We're going to talk about local storage. Okay. Cool. So I think maybe a good starting point is to start in the store. Let's go down to store.js. All right. So, from line 3 to line 16, let's delete, oh no, line 3 to line 15.
All that?
Yeah, that looks right. Okay, return still has its own curly brackets. The initial store still has its own curly brackets. Looks good. And then here, I want to keep some of this here. So you have action type.
Oh, okay.
So can you hit enter after line 10 to make a new thing? All right. So say if. So this now we're in JavaScript universe again. So if statement parentheses, our brains are gonna have to, yeah. Cool. So inside those parentheses, we'll copy line 15, not copy, but just type it, action.type. So that's how you access the type. Equals, and we'll just put an empty parentheses.
Okay.
I'm sorry, quotes. So a specific type. Can you copy line 17 to line 20? Yeah, take that and paste it in there. So if the type is what we want, then we're going to update the store. This is how you update the store, line 13 to line 16.
Mm-hmm.
And the key is on line 15, message. Mm-hmm. Instead of message, we're going to put whatever whatever what do you call it?
Or array is?
Like variable we're gonna use.
Okay. So okay, so this is to confirm that if we have a user logged in, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
so on line 3, that's where we create the variable up
Okay.
there. So let's call it like token. That's what we're dealing with here. Call that token. And let's colon. And here's where we put the initial value, kind of similar to use state. So let's make it null in the beginning, and you can get rid of the square brackets. Yeah. So null.
Token. No, okay.
Cool. So we're gonna have something called token, which is gonna be starting out as null. And null is
Okay.
useful because it's almost like saying false. Um, you know, and yeah. And so let's say on line 11, let's define a type here in the quote. So, it could be like update token maybe or something like that. That's what this thing is going to do. It's going to update the token. Cool. And so we pass something here, and the way we access it is action.payload. So whatever we give to this dispatch is going to be the new value of the token. All right. Cool. So can you hit the line 19, hit the arrow, the little hover over the number 19 and collapse it, and then highlight 36 to 19 and delete it. Okay. All right. So we have an if statement, action.type equals update token, and then we're going to update the token, basically. Cool. So that's good. So now let's go to I'm thinking to doing a nav bar to begin with. So let's go to components and then open up the nav bar. Okay. Oh, we need to access it. We don't have access to it yet. Go to pages, home. Okay, at the top, we need line 3. So copy line 3. And then go back to nav bar and paste that on line 2. Then go back to home and copy line 7. And it's before the return, after the arrow thing. This is a hook. So we'll put it right there. All right, give a few buffer seconds for people to do that. So now we have access to the store and the dispatch. Great. Cool. All right, so let's do a ternary operator here. Maybe after line 10, let's do a div.
Ooh, nope. Ah.
Okay, so in here, we're going to do some conditional rendering, saying I want you to show this if this thing is true, and if not, show a different thing. So to do that, we're going to do our curly brackets. Anybody remember what was my cute little thing I would tell you all to write?
True.
It was
If this is true, question. Oh, yeah, that's what he's doing.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, more or less. And I think instead of true, I said condition.
Yeah.
Um, so condition. So if it's true, do this. If not, do that. Okay. So we can work off of that. All right. So the condition is going to be token dot no, store dot token. That's how we access it. Because remember, we created the token in the store.
Right.
And we set it to null.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe what we should say is store dot token not equal to null. Okay. Is it not equal to null? Then if it's not equal to null, that means we're logged in. So let's just put a quote and say you're logged in. Let's just do that for now. And we'll change it later. And then if not, we'll say you're not logged in quotes. Okay. And so clearly, you know, we're starting out. The idea should be that we're not logged in because we don't have that set up and all that. So let's do npm run start. And we'll look up at the nav bar and see what's going on. Oh yeah, this thing. So okay, so now we're using a full stack boilerplate. So they're combining the back end with the front end all in the same thing. So okay, here we're gonna get to know the .env file. So if you like for like APIs, you know, like the Star Wars thing we use, a lot of them, and you'll see in your final projects, a lot of them you have to like create an account if you want to use an API, typically, even if it's free. Like a lot of them have like a free version. You know, if you use, you know, some AI thing, you can use it 500 messages a day, let's say. And then after that, it runs out or something. So you create an account and then they give you the special password, a long key. And that's unique to your account. And so you want to keep that private because if you know how we do git add dot git commit git push, it goes to your repo. And if it's local, then anyone can see your code and they can take it and use up all your free stuff. Sometimes you use APIs that cost money, like Thomas was saying. There's APIs to do messaging features, but it costs money. So if you have an API key, they could take it and use your credits and stuff. And then, like, you know, if you're working at a company, if they get an API key, that could be, you know, sensitive information, bank accounts, and crazy shit like that. So you don't want to save it on your repo like that. So the .env file is a way you can save a variable and keep it private. Like it'll work in your code, but it won't save to the repo, your GitHub thing. Yeah. And it also, that's basically what it does, and among other things. So, and a lot of times you use it with your back end as well. So also, if you put your key into the code and not your .env, the company will pull your key. Okay, like they'll take it away from you. All right, cool. So it's also highly used in backend stuff. like this. So what we need to do is go to the backend thing, like when you do pip run start and that website comes up, like what we use with Postman. Get that URL. You can just go to like
Okay, got you. So to run it again, but from the back end.
yeah. I think it's not running. Oh, so okay. So for this, you have to hit the plus button on the terminal and do pip run start. So you can run the front end and back end at the same time.
Cool. Okay.
All right. So you can just copy that.
Ooh.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to open it up. You can just go to the port and let's make it public, and then copy it.
I'm not sure which one it is.
It's a 3001. That's the
3000.
one.
Gotcha. Got it. Okay, public. Then copy it.
The icon to the left, that one.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to the .env file.
.env.
All right. So you can uncomment line 14.
Oh, okay.
And then paste what you copied there. Don't have any spaces though. Have it equal and.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. So now let's go back to the front end and refresh, like the actual website that's running.
Right. Is this? I'm lost now. Hold on. Was it this right here that I was running?
That one.
Okay.
All right, great. So that's our front end. And it says in the nav bar, you are not logged in. So that's good.
Right.
Conditional rendering is working.
Right.
Everyone good with that?
And is it currently loading?
That's just showing that your backend is running.
Okay.
So yeah, everyone good with this part?
No.
Okay.
No.
Cool. You want to share their screens and we could.
I just want to know. He copied the URL and pasted it on NV.
.env, yeah.
Okay, and then
it was the inside the .env file. There's one that says Vite backend URL.
Yeah.
You have to uncomment that, like take away the hashtag and then paste it there.
Okay. Okay. And then goes to paste the URL in the website.
In the website, no.
You see the front end?
No, then you go back to the front end site that we opened up, and it should pop up like this.
Okay.
So that's the npm run start.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, so it's not pip run start?
The front end is npm run start. So you have two different terminals. You can hit the plus button.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Great.
Here it is.
Alrighty. I believe you're next, Jackie. So if you want to share your screen.
Okay.
Oh, and quick question, Alex, what does that space do? Because you mentioned don't add any spaces before the URL.
I'll bring that up at a different part. make more sense.
Okay, I paste here and open in a new terminal, and then pop up. But this was I think.
So go back to .env. So it has to be right after the equal sign, the
Oh,
thing, like that.
okay.
And that's all
No
you need to
space between
do.
the equals.
Oh,
No
right.
space?
No space. Yeah. No space. Yeah.
All right, let's look at your front end website. It was there already, but
Oh, okay.
okay, cool.
You're not.
So why don't you close the extra one you have open? Okay. All right, so you are not logged in. Good. Perfect. So now we want to create a page that we want to be able to get the person to log in because we did it with Postman. So now we're going to do it on our front end website. So in order to log in, we need to type the email and the password.
Okay.
So let's just do it simple for now. So let's go to our front end.
This is our
Sorry, the code.
okay.
And let's go to home. Okay, so here we are. We can scroll down. Let's collapse line 9. Okay. So let's close the files on the top left icon. Give ourselves some more room. All right. So let's collapse line 36 and delete all that div. Be careful with what you're highlighting, just the div. All right, and now let's put a new div. Okay. All right, so what would we put in this to have someone type something, and then we'll save it and send it to the backend? Not a H1. What kind of HTML thing?
Input?
Yeah, right. So we need an input. All right, but it's a different syntax. Well, how do we put an input? Anybody remember?
Oh, this is a single self-closing.
Right.
So you only need the word input and then close it.
Yeah.
With a self-closing, like
Mm-hmm. And
like
then yeah, and then close it.
Okay. Perfect. And so we can use some use state. Remember, we did this with what was it? The contact list that people would type in things, and so maybe let's try that. Let's go to GitHub. I think you have it open right to the left. Get 4Geeks. I see 4Geeks in the tab. What is that? Click on 4Geeks Academy on the left, top left. Nope. Go back.
Here.
Click on 4Geeks Academy. Yep. All right. Click on repositories on the top left. Okay, in the search, type in your GitHub username. And hit enter, I guess. All right, contact list app. Open up that one.
I think that is not ready.
Okay.
So if you want to see something, it's not finished yet. I'm still working on it.
Well, let's see. Click on the source. Let's see if we got anything there.
Hmm.
All right, go to components and go to pages.
Pages.
Yeah, on the left. Contact submit.
Mm,
Okay. So let's scroll down a little. Keep going to the return.
to the return.
To the return. Yeah, you can. I think there's probably a quicker way to you just. All right. Okay. So here's an example of how we took an input. We would grab what the person was typing, and we would save it in the use state. So let's copy two of those, line 71 and 72. And can you put it in the Google chat? Okay, let's go back to your front end code and get rid of that input and
Paste it.
that. Cool. So does anyone remember what is the on change doing? What is that in the basic sense or whatever?
I believe whenever somebody's typing, it like shows up in the console.
If you console log it, it shows up in the console. But so that's a good start. When someone's typing, then it's like when someone's typing, we can do something. It depends what you
Right.
put in the arrow function.
Okay. Okay. Right.
So it's allowing us to add to the array. That is the use effect.
No, not that. So what do we see inside the arrow function of like line 37, let's say, on the on change?
We're getting a value from the object.
So it's
what they enter.
Uh-huh.
So it's allowing us, it's allowing us to add whatever we enter into set name, which is the use effect.
Yeah.
Well, use state. So
Use
okay,
state,
you said
yes.
use effect, but you meant use state. Gotcha.
My bad.
So use state, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So it's adding to whatever is in that. Is it an array or no?
Oh well, it depends how you define it.
Okay.
So yeah. So e.target.value, that's kind of the magic sauce there. Whatever someone types is in e.target.value. And notice how e begins inside the parentheses. Like there's the arrow function, like parentheses, arrow, and then set name. The e is inside that first parenthesis. So that's another part of the magic secret sauce there. Okay. So either target set name. So we need some use state now. So let's change line 38 to be a password. So instead of set phone, it will be set password, etc. Anything that's mentioning a phone should say password instead. Okay, and then it says value phone, so we'll like keep on going down the line. And anything that says phone, change it to password.
Oh, here in value.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
also here.
Right. Perfect. So now let's scroll up and we're gonna set up our use state.
You scroll up and
Set up use state. Scroll all the way up. Okay. So on line 1, we have to import use state.
okay. We have to import use state.
Yes. So where it says use effect, you can put a comma
Oh, okay.
and then put use state right in there. Capital S, yeah. Okay. And on line 9, we can begin with the setting up the use state. Remember how to set it up? Line 8, I mean. How do we set up use state? Remember back in our front end days? Put const, square brackets, and then here's where we put the two things. You can put name. Oh, you don't open it, you keep it closed. And you put name, comma, set name, capital N. So name is the variable, and set name is actually a function that updates it. So we can go outside of that and say equals use state parentheses, and here is going to be what the beginning value is, which can be an empty quote. And then we can do the same thing for password. I have to go outside the square bracket.
Yep.
All right. Cool. We good with that? Anybody need to look at the code a moment longer, or are we? All right. Little review there, but it's been a while, and we've been in Python land. So, but anyway, cool. So, Drew, you good to carry on? All right, cool. So we got something. Password isn't being called, so there must be some typo or something like that. Yeah, on value should be lowercase p. Okay. So that's that. So now we need to make a fetch request, right? We need to do a post thing so that we can log in instead of using Postman. So I think it makes sense to go to the contact list thing because we did a login there. And we did a fetch and everything. So let's go to your GitHub, and we can all go to our contact list, which you can go to 4Geeks GitHub and type in your GitHub username, and that should show up everything, and find the one that has contact list there. All right, so yeah, in the search repositories, put your thing. I would put your GitHub username because there's like however many students doing the exact same one. All right, there. So let's see. Generator. Don't see it here. Well, we can get somebody else's or something.
Yeah, I'm not finished with it yet. Yeah.
Okay, but you didn't. Okay,
Yeah, I haven't committed anything on it yet.
got you. You should commit continuously, but because your
I,
code switching technically.
I just forget to commit, but yeah, I'm
Gotcha. Come, final project. I'm remind you to commit.
Okay.
Trust me. But anyway,
Got you.
let's look up Jackie's maybe, or I don't know, somebody got their thing that they can put their GitHub username. So you know you got it. There's Loves. All right. And by the way, I think this is kind of like demoing what you guys can do for your final projects, you know? Like, oh yeah, I had a login thing. Let me go back to my project and copy and paste and adjust it.
Oh, I think you passed it. Contact list. It's at the top now. True. Go up a little bit.
Go up.
Yeah, you passed it, Drew. There it is. Contact list app using React.
Oh, I was looking at the word context. I'm like, that's not contact.
Oh.
All right, you don't have to open up the code. You can just look at the files here. So source. I think it would be pages. Home, I guess. Is this? Oh, this is like a. Huh? It's like the wrong. You didn't save it to this love, maybe, or.
Oh, is it? I'm looking at it right. Contact. Contact list app using React.
The right name, but it seems like there's nothing in the.
Interesting. I'm looking at it right now. Let me send the link to my maybe.
Oh, it's the right one.
What are you looking for in it, Alex?
The fetch.
Oh.
To log in with the contact list project.
There's nothing in there. They're all initial commits, so there's nothing added there.
Oh, well, maybe it's another. Maybe I made a duplicate because I'm looking at it right now.
Check your components. Maybe you put it there.
Right.
Here's the
There it
home.
is.
So this definitely is different than what we're looking at.
Yeah, it's in my home. Yeah, I'm
strange,
looking at it
but,
on my computer.
All right, cool. So
There's Shailene's if y'all can't.
Create agenda. That's the create a username. So it's not that. Scroll down. Oh wait, what am I talking about? There's no login here.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was like, I don't know.
But at least it's a post method. I think this is good enough, even though it's not at all what I thought it was. let's copy the create agenda. All right. We can go back to our code. We can paste that in the Google chat. All right, cool. You can grab that, people. All right. So now, after line 32, we can paste the thing we copied. All right, so we can scroll up. So instead of create agenda, we can say, you know, like login or something. And the login. Cool.
You said line 22?
It doesn't matter the specific line.
Put where?
Just somewhere in the home JSX.
Okay.
All right, so let me look at my thing here. Login, yeah. All right, so this is a post method. We know our endpoint when we made in the routes.py was also a post method. Oh yeah, we got to do the thing. Okay. So first things first. So okay, option. Method post is good. Headers, content type, good. Body. The body. Scroll up. Okay, so what do we need in the body for the login? Do you remember when we did Postman?
Email,
User one?
user, yeah, and password. I mean,
Oh,
Email and
yes.
password.
Oh,
Yes.
Right.
Log.
Not like the value, but like, yeah, the structure. So that, good. And so what is going to be our values? Not a
It's
string,
gonna be-
obviously, but
Hmm.
it needs to be something that changes depending on what someone types.
Which would be what the what we created, the email underscore value, password underscore value.
Well, that's
The
in
store?
the back end, but in the front end, what variable do we have that is always updated when someone types?
Oh,
unchanged.
the name and the password.
Yeah, so onChange is the function, but name and password on line 9 and 10, that use state stuff.
Right.
Like each time someone types, it's always updating lines 9 and 10. So
Password.
that's what use state is useful for. So onChange gives us access to what someone types, and then set name is the thing that is just updating. Yeah, so let's scroll back up to that body, and for email, oh wait. So I guess we got to change name. We'll do that later. Doesn't matter. Just put name there. Wait, let me
Remember to
zoom
put
in.
the closing quote on email.
Oh, and it needs to be a colon too, instead of an equal. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna just pretend the name is the email, and then the password would be the other use state password. Okay. So right, because that's the structure of our backend. Perfect.
Wait, we wouldn't be able to just update the use state to name and set our email and set email?
For sure. I just didn't want to waste time on that. Fine, let's do
Gotcha,
it.
gotcha.
I don't want to confuse people. All right.
I was like, hold on.
It's stressful. Yes, it is. So yeah, change line 9, name, set email. Email, set email, and then change it in the inputs too.
Cool.
And then change line 40 to email.
On line 10, you have email password.
All right, go back down to that input. And the value thing. And might as well do the placeholder too. Okay. There, you happy, Brandon? That's a good call. Okay, good. So, all right, and so this body thing right here, line 39 to 42, email password, right? That has to match our backend thing. So go to routes.py. And let's go to login. Yeah, right? Wait, what are we doing? Login. Yeah. So you see in line 20 and 21, email in quotes and password in quotes. So that matches what we just put in the body of the thing we're doing. So that those need to be exactly the same, capitals and blah blah blah. Great. So now
Wait, you said
we're
in lines 20 and 21, what's in quotations needs to match what's in the
in
use
the
state?
body. Like so
In the
before
body.
in the body part, yeah. Because remember I used to that thing. The specifically to the
Okay.
left in
Got it.
email in quotes and password in quotes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, because before I told you guys, oh, it needs to be the same in the Postman, only because we were using Postman. But now, this is the body. Like line 39 to 42 is that rectangle that we're used to using in Postman.
Got it. Okay.
So awesome. Yeah. So now request.json.get on line 20 quotes email is how you grab what we put in the body in home JSX. That's how it accesses the body. And now when I say line 20 request.json.get gets what's in the body, what that means is go back to home. It's getting what's 39. That's the body. That stuff.
Can you please repeat that?
Yeah. So go back to routes. So request.json.get and whatever you put in parentheses, that's the way the backend accesses the body, which is line 39 to 42.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that get sets it up for that, right? The dot get
right,
set
and
specifically for that.
Yeah. Oh, the request dot whatever that was.
Right.
Request dot query, right?
JSON dot
okay. Request dot JSON dot get. So all those
Okay.
things together work together to get the body thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's that. Perfect.
Okay.
So now we have to work on the fetch URL. So each time you create a new code space, you'll get a different backend URL.
Right.
So we can't, it's not ideal to have a string like we have right now because it's always going to change. So that's why in our .env, we have the backend URL. We have that thing.
Oh,
so
that stays consistent.
Yeah. So we can access these variables with a specific syntax that's annoying. Oh, look, it says it right there. On line 2, the commented out thing on line 2, all the way to the right, import.meta.env, and then you put the variable name. So why don't you copy what's inside the parentheses? We'll copy that, and let's go back to our code. The home JSX. Okay, so we can, get rid of that and get rid of the quotes as well. And then paste that. And instead of variable name, you can put, what was it? Go back to env and copy line 14, only the variable name, Vite backend URL. That thing. Okay, go to home and paste that right there after the dot. Okay, so that's our. So I'll give a few buffer seconds for people to do that. So that's the base URL for our backend. And so now we need to add the endpoint. Because remember, when we go to Postman, what do? we paste the URL, and then what do? We add the extra thing, /login or whatever, like it is right now, or /API/login we had to add. So we need to do the same thing in our home JSX. So here on the fetch, after URL, that thing, you can do plus, in quotes, API/login, because that's the endpoint we're targeting. An API
Get rid of the import on line 44. That's going to mess up the code.
Say it again? No, actually it won't.
It won't?
It's freaking weird as hell, but it won't.
Really?
Yeah. Like look at scroll up. Where is the load message thing? Open that up, line 12. Look how they did it on line 14.
That is really weird.
I really hate it. But yeah, collapse line 12. That was one of the things I was trying to figure out yesterday. But yeah, so anyways, API/login, why does that work? Well, it's the same reason why it worked in Postman. If we go back to routes.py, we define it on line 16, /login. And me and Shay, we already did the discovering why we need to do /API, that thing we found. But yeah. Wait, why does it get? Can you change that to post on line 16? And everything else looks good. Okay. Okay. Cool. So that's what that's what I was going to come back to for your comment earlier, Brandon, about why we can't have a space in the .env thing, because we use it.
I see.
We call it, and it needs to, yeah.
Got it. Or so it would add the space and it would break the URL.
The fetch URL specifically, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense.
And then also a thing that can happen to people sometimes. Go to Postman. So you see on the URL, it says /API/login, right? There's a /API/login. So if you go back to your home JSX, notice how on the plus thing on line 44, I didn't say plus /API/login. I said plus API/login. So if you go to your .env, at the end on line 14, all the way on the right, there's a slash there. So if you put a slash there, which you probably did, because if you're following along, then in the fetch URL in home JSX, you shouldn't add an extra slash.
Okay.
So just be wary of that. Like if it doesn't work, and then you look at your it says 405, 404, that's about the URL, and sometimes you'll have a double slash.
Got it.
So yeah, but okay, cool. Let's go back to home JSX. All right, so method post, line 35, good. Headers, good. Body, we talked about that. Now we got the fetch URL to be correct, so it goes to the endpoint that we want, because in routes we have different endpoints. We need it to go to the API login one. All right, we know about .then response. So that's converting it. Wait. Let's copy from line 51 to line 46 and get rid of that. And we're good there. Return response.json. Undo that so people can see. Undo it a few times until it comes back. So this stuff, the if and the else statement, remove those two things. Okay, so go ahead and So return response.json, we know that converts it. And so now, and then it goes down to line 49 into data. So what is data? Well, if we go to our routes, the login, this is the 16. This is the endpoint we're targeting with that fetch we just did. And what the data is what we put in the return. So if we go to line 28, that's the return, the token. So whatever is in the return of an endpoint is what is going to be the result of the dot then thing. So go back to home JSX. So in the fetches, we have two dot thens. Highlight the first one, 46 to 48. That's just converting the response. And then highlight 50 to 51. And this is when we get the response. So now, since we're creating our own APIs, we're defining what the response is. So for us, we said, excuse me, we said the response is going to be the token. And we talked about the token bin. We talked about what the token is already. So that's going to be the token. So let's test this to see if that's a token, and then we can call it a day and pick up from that. Okay, almost. So we'll test that. Great. So now scroll down to the inputs, and let's add a button on line 61. Okay. And say like login. And we're going to add an on click to it. Capital C. And then do an arrow function. The arrow goes on the outside of the parentheses. Okay, and now we're going to call the login function we just did. So login parentheses. Right there. Oh no, like log, we're calling a function, so the name of the function login. It has to match the way you spelled it up there. So if you use a capital L or not, like however you define the function. Yeah. So that's our function. So we'll call it when we click on the button. Parentheses. No. So we're calling the function. So you need to put the name of the function without quotes, so it detects it with JavaScript, and then put parentheses, and that ignites the function.
Oh, sorry. Which function are we calling?
The login function.
The login. Okay, got it. Handle login.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like when we click, it will ignite it. Okay. So let's go to our website. Yeah, go to the front end one. Do you have it running? No, it seems like you don't. So you can open up. So this is the backend website to like look at the backend, but you can you can go to terminal, open up a new one. Oh no, so you need the backend running though, because we're sending this stuff to our backend. So you need to do pip env run start again. Okay, now open up a new terminal by clicking the make it public. Do you see that make public button? The top right, the bottom right. You can just click that make public. We'll do that. All right, so go to terminal and hit the plus button on the top right because it's a new terminal, and you can say npm run start. And there we go. You can open up the browser. Yeah, I don't think the front end needs to be public, I don't think. But all right. Okay, so there we have our two inputs. You are not logged in. Let's so anytime you know you're going to be interacting with fetch and a backend, it's always good to have your inspector open and have the network tab, because that's where you can get more information. All right. So let's. Do you know your users, Drew? Do you have any users in your backend? No, are you saying no there? With this, hilarious. All right. Let's go to your. Let's go to someone else who does have it already. I love Drew's mouse communicate. I don't know if y'all are picking up. He's like saying no by wagging it left and right. That's legendary. All right. Shay, you got users, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's have you share your screen. I don't know, but Shay's dangerous because she doesn't know her passwords.
I know the last one is 123.
All right, good. Okay, cool. So the email is what?
User 1.
User 1. Okay, cool. So let's do that. User 1 and then 1, 2, 3. Login. All right. Click on. Oh, right. That makes sense. I think it worked. Click on preview. Okay, there's your token. So it worked. Great. So that's what you can check. Go to your network, and you should see the login thing come up. You see the name login. And if you click on preview, you should see a token there. So let's just have that be the last thing we are able to do tonight, and we'll pick it up from there.
I don't see a preview.
It should definitely you see the tab preview? Is just not showing anything?
Oh, wait.
No, I don't see the tab.
It should
Maybe it's like the
definitely
way
be.
my settings are.
Yeah, let's have you share your screen and check that out.
I'm not used to using the network. I don't know.
Oh, you gotta click on login, like click on the name.
Oh, click on it first.
Yeah.
Ah, gotcha.
Incorrect.
Incorrect password.
Oh boy.
Oops. All right, let me try a different one. Oh, that's crazy.
You have
Oh,
to
no,
click-
that's this one.
There we
Okay.
go. Yeah, Drew, because you don't have any users. So yeah, I think you just need to you need to create a user, and then it should work out. But it's probably set up right, so yeah, that'd be a good one to follow up on. So Jackie, Brandon, y'all getting your token?
I think I did something wrong here.
Hmm.
Did I do something wrong with the on click? Because it's
What's
not showing
that?
up for me.
It's not showing up at
Handle
all.
login.
On
Yeah.
click, arrow, handle login. That looks good. Import response. Yeah, let's show me what happens when you.
I don't have like the login.
Wait, I don't even see your inputs.
Right, I don't even see that.
That's
Go
weird.
back to the button with the on click. Because I see on click equals, but if you see above where you have the input on change, you should have the arrow function instead of equals.
I don't see what you're referencing to.
Where you see input on change input arrow function set password. Handle function is a function. So you have to use the arrow function. You have to use the arrow to say do this.
Yeah, he's got it right there.
Alright.
Yeah. So let's go to your website again and go to the console in the inspector. Check the template. You are not logged in. I think of the way you're sharing your screen, I can't see the URL. What does the URL say? Is there anything?
Oh. You see it now or no?
No. Can you show
It's
your
just,
entire screen instead of? I think this is like a tab view, maybe.
let's see. Let me try again.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
So yeah, what the heck? I don't see any errors. And there's go to your code again. So this is the home. What in the world? Can you go to your front end terminal, the npm one?
I'll also say, like, when I was done putting the on click, for some reason I had a bracket error. For some reason, I just added an extra one here. I assumed I must have deleted it when we were putting in maybe the use state somewhere, where everything seems to be good.
It does. Go to the npm terminal on the right. You can click on it, and in here do Control C, and do a npm run start again. All right. Go back to the website and refresh it.
Oh.
Okay. That's just weird, but I think let's just leave it alone. Your thing looks good, and we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Go to your code again, though. One more time. I thought I saw something. Okay, you have a dispatch. I wonder if it's because of that. But everyone else has that too. Wait, do they?
They don't.
I don't think so.
Delete that 52. I wonder if that's throwing it. I mean, it's not throwing an error, but get rid of that on line 52. Refresh again. I wonder if that's. It's weird that it didn't show an error, but still not. We'll figure that out.
And it's not returning the inputs.
Yeah. It's, go to your code again. And highlight 61 to 66 and comment it out. And after line 60, put like test, the word test, and go back to your website and refresh.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's we'll look into that. Next class or something. That's strange. If you don't mind staying after, I don't mind looking into it deeper once we send everybody off,
Yeah.
and if not, next class or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. So, all right. So, Love was good. Shay was good. Drew, you got to make your users. How about you, Jackie?
I can't see any in the console.
Why don't you share your screen and let's see where you're at. It should be in the network tab, not the console.
Yeah, sorry, in the network.
Okay. Okay, so hit login.
And nothing happened.
Okay, let's go back to your code. Oh, wait, go to console. Email is not defined. Okay, let's go back to your code. Scroll all the way up. Email. So email is defined. Scroll down.
Scroll down.
Yeah. Where's the? Oh, the login. You put it down there.
I asked you, and you said wherever you want to paste it.
Okay.
You did say that, Alex. You did say that.
All right. Well, you went and took that and okay. I'm gonna be careful with Jackie now. All right. So collapse line 48 and highlight 48 to 65 and do Control X or Command X or. Okay, scroll up and paste it on line 32. It could have been anywhere. Yeah, anyway.
Anywhere above the return.
Yeah, before the return, after the arrow.
Okay.
All right, let's refresh and see what's up. Okay. Okay, let's look at your network tab. Could not fetch the message.
Login.
Click there. Click on preview.
This one?
It says headers, payload, preview, response.
Oh, preview here. Oh,
Login
okay.
failed.
Let me
But
see.
Maybe the thing is
200.
well, that's right. We gotta add. We have to add it in our route to give a different code. You have to click on the other login now and down there. There it is. Cool. Yeah, we'll talk about that next class. How to give a different status code if it is a wrong password. You have to define it. All right. So you're good. So I think everyone's good besides Brandon. Brandon be having bad luck, man. I swear.
Well, I found something off of ChatGPT. I was just missing a curly bracket for the handle log function, which is why when I added that extra one, it worked. But now it's saying not found. So I'm about to just console log and see what it says now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down to check it out with you.
Okay, cool.
All right, great, people. So good work today. I would say like